disappointing. This world should be shrouded in darkness, not bathed in insufferable light. All these weak, peace-loving cowards running rampant. It would have been more satisfying to overcome a worthy foe.
Regardless, I will reshape this world as it was meant to be. I will crush any opposition. I will rule. That is what a king must do.
To some, he's a king. To most, a menace. To all, the greatest threat in all of Hyrule. It's Ganondorf from The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
Looking at 23, Ganondorf's already in Super Smash Bros. Why are you doing a moveset from even though he's already in the game?
Okay, we've been at this gag for way too long. You asked the exact same thing in both my Zelda and Rabbit Heroes moveset videos. So again, this Ganondorf is not the same Ganondorf in Smash.
Hey, what are you talking about? We already have one Ganondorf. One Ganondorf's enough. Why do we need another?
Okay, that's it. I'm just gonna be ignoring you for the rest of the video. Anyways, Ganondorf is by far the most iconic villain in the entirety of the franchise. Ganondorf here is a male Gerudo, which is a species of desert people that consists mostly of women. However, every 100 years, a male Gerudo is born. And every time, Ganondorf has been that male. Despite that, the Ganondorf that gets born every 100 years isn't the same person. You see, each Ganondorf that we've seen throughout the course of the series comes from either a different timeline or a different universe, which is why we have about 3 different versions of Link and Zelda. This Ganondorf comes from the most recent Zelda game in the timeline. It all started 2,000 years before the events of Breath of the Wild. Ganondorf gained the trust of the first king and queen of Hyrule, King Rauru and Queen Sonia, and claimed to help Hyrule out when faced with grave danger. Turns out this was all a big trick so Ganondorf could obtain their magical artifacts known as Power Seeds to become the most powerful being in the world. However, King Rauru trapped Ganondorf underneath Hyrule Castle for about 2,000 years. When Zelda wanted to explore the ruins of the castle, her and Link soon discovered a mummified version of Ganondorf, and accidentally freed him from his 2,000-year prison. Within a matter of seconds, Ganondorf destroyed the Master Sword, which is said to be the only thing capable of defeating him and his power. After this, Ganondorf used his magic to create a huge army of monsters to destroy all of Hyrule so that Ganondorf could create a new kingdom where darkness reigns. But Ganondorf soon realized that the light always pierces through the darkness, and he was defeated. But today, Ganondorf will be ready for round 2 as he fights Link on the Super Smash Bros. Roster. So starting off, Ganondorf here would be a below average heavyweight character. He'd have 2 jumps and would be able to wall jump. But now, let's dive into his costumes. Well, actually before that, this video is sponsored by StreamStation PC. For those of you who've never heard of StreamStation PC, StreamStation PC is a website that sells PC equipment, but not just any PC equipment. Each PC here is custom made and was made with gaming in mind. These are high quality gaming PCs that can run up to 60 frames per second and even supports 4K resolution. So So if you'd like to order a custom-made gaming PC, head on over to StreamStationPC.com. And if you'd like to get a small discount while simultaneously supporting my channel, then use the promo code on screen. And now, back to the video. Okay, now let's dive into his costumes. For Ganondorf's default appearance, he'll be in his traditional Gerudo robe, which is what he wore in Tears of the Kingdom. For his first alt, his robe turns blue, which is a direct reference towards Link and Zelda's champion outfits, which is what we saw them wear in the beginning of Tears of the Kingdom. For his second alt, his robe turns apricot colored and his pants turn red. This is in reference towards the geeky yet lovable Sheikah scientist known as Purah. For his third alt, Ganondorf's robe turns pinkish red and his pants turn light blue, in reference towards Prince Sidon, who's soon to be the king of Zora's domain. For his fourth alt, his robe turns green while his pants turn pink. This is in reference towards Prince Sidon's fiancée and soon to be queen of Zora's domain, Yana. Then for his fifth alt, Ganondorf's robe turns gray with dark green pants, in reference towards the first queen of Hyrule, Queen Sonia. Or I guess I should say former queen of Hyrule, as she ends up getting killed by Ganondorf. Seriously, that scene is still tough to watch. Anyways, for his sixth alt, his robe turns orange, which references both the Gerudo as well as the Gorons. And the final alt will have Ganondorf in a darker colored robe. This in reference towards both King Rauru and Ganondorf's second phase look from his boss fight. Now with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and dive into the moveset. Now despite being Ganondorf, these two will not be having the same moveset. You see, the Ganondorf in Smash has his moveset themed around him using his dark magic to pack a punch. Which makes sense given that that version of Ganondorf was a warlock in Ocarina of Time. However, this Ganondorf didn't really use his magic a whole lot. Instead, he decided to use weapons to his advantage, which is what I'll be emphasizing for this moveset. So starting off with the jab, it'll be a 2-hit jab where Ganondorf swings his sword twice. It's pretty strong, but does have a bit of end lag. For his side tilt, Ganondorf will equip a spiky club and swing it vertically forwards. It's an incredibly strong side tilt, but there is a little bit of start lag and a little bit of end lag. For his down tilt, this will be the only parallel to Ganondorf's moveset. You'll have Ganondorf perform a downwards kick. Despite being the same, the attack comes out slightly quicker than his, but isn't as strong. For the up tilt, Ganondorf will equip a lance and pierce it upwards. It comes out pretty quick and goes pretty high, but it only packs a punch at the tip of the lance. Now for Ganondorf's forward smash, Ganondorf will equip his spiky club again and slam it downwards. This smash attack is incredibly deadly, as there's a very great chance that Ganondorf will get early KOs with this smash attack. Unfortunately, there is a lot of start lag and a lot of end lag, so this is a high risk, high reward sort of move. For the down smash, Ganondorf equips his sword and spins a few times, dealing multiple hits of damage until the final hit. For his up smash, Ganondorf equips his club again and swings it from left to right. Now just like his forward smash, this move has the ability of KOing foes at early percentages, but again, has a lot of start and end lag. For the neutral air, Ganondorf spins twice while equipping his sword. Despite spinning, he only launches foes on impact. For his forward and back air, Ganondorf equips his lance again, but this time he pierces it forwards or backwards. Now there is an interesting thing you can do with the forward and back air. Just like Sephiroth's forward air, if used on a wall, Ganondorf will stick to the wall and perform an extra jump. So this move can also be used as a type of recovery. For the down air, Ganondorf swings his sword from right to left, just like what a few characters do in Smash. And finally, for the up air, Ganondorf swings his spiky club upwards. It's his strongest aerial attack, but there is a little bit of start lag and a little bit of end lag. But where Ganondorf's true power reawakens is with his special attacks. Now before I talk about the specials, I do need to address something. All of his specials will involve one of the newest things introduced in Tears of the Kingdom, Gloom. Gloom was a substance in Tears of the Kingdom that, if stood on for too long, would cause the player to slowly lose their hearts and get weak. Not only that, but sometimes there were gloom-based weapons that would also slowly eat at the player's hearts if they happen to be equipping them. Now for Smash, Ganondorf will be equipping some of those weapons for all of his specials. So for Ganondorf's neutral special, Ganondorf will equip a Gloom bow and arrow. This special works like Link's bow and arrow move, but there is one major difference. The arrow he shoots out will be Gloom. Once the player is hit by this Gloom Arrow, they'll slowly deal a small amount of poisonous damage. In fact, all the special attacks will have a chance to poison the opponents. This special can also be spammed for as long as you want, although it's not exactly recommended, as those arrows do count as projectiles, so keep that in mind when fighting against foes with reflectors. Now for Ganondorf's side special, Ganondorf equips his lance yet again and charges forwards. Now there's quite a bit you can do with this move. First of all, this special has the ability of moving Ganondorf forwards. Second, the tip of the lance will be the hitbox on this attack. Third, this move is really strong if you charge it up for about 4 seconds. After fully charging it, Ganondorf will move forwards much faster and deal more damage than before. And fourth, once Ganondorf moves forwards, he leaves behind a trail of gloom. This trail will poison opponents who happen to be standing in it. As strong as this move sounds, there are a few problems with it. There is a 10-second cooldown with the Trail of Gloom, so even though you can still use the side special for as many times as you want, you'll have to wait a while until you can use the Gloom again. Plus, the Gloom Trail can only be used on platforms or the main stage. It doesn't work in the air. The other issue with this move is that it can easily be shielded. Not only that, but foes can actually grab you out of it. Plus, if you use this move in the air, Ganondorf will go into freefall until he lands back on the stage. Now for the down special, this is yet another charge up move, where Ganondorf uses a gloomified weapon, but this time he equips his spiky club. When the special is fully charged, which takes about 5 seconds, Ganondorf pierces his club through the ground. And when he does this, 2 gloom waves travel in opposite sides of him until they hit an opponent or reach the edge of the stage, whichever happens first. Not only that, but a huge gust of wind appears and launches foes high into the air. Despite the gust of wind launching foes, it doesn't deal damage, but it can be used to blow opponents up to the ceiling of the stage or even to KO them. This special only works if you fully charge it up. It doesn't work if you just tap the special button. Plus, this move can only be used on stage. If you try using it in the air, then nothing will happen. And finally, for the up special, this will be an innovative attack where Ganondorf slowly rises into the air while equipping his sword. Mechanically, it behaves like Roy, Simon, and Richter's up special, where they equip a sword and rise into the air, dealing multiple hits of damage until the final hit. However, the big difference with this move is yet again, Gloom. If Ganondorf hits opponents with his sword, there is a chance to poison them. Not only that, but this up special doesn't send him into freefall, so you can freely use all of your other attacks and jump as long as if it's not the up special again. Now, normally this is where I dive right into the final smash, but there is something I need to address. Some of you are probably dreading at the fact that Ganondorf is such a strong character. But what if I told you he was holding back his true strength? Ganondorf here has a gimmick that is, dare I say, terrifying. If Ganondorf has over 115% of damage, his entire body gets corrupted by gloom. When this happens, all of his attacks get incredibly fast, with very little start and end lag. Not only that, but all of his attacks get increased amounts of damage. In other words, when Ganondorf tries to hit you, you'll deal even more damage than before. I know what you're thinking. This gimmick makes him sound way too broken. But don't worry, despite all the pros with this gimmick, he does gain a few cons. First of all, his weight class changes from a below average heavyweight to a slightly above average midweight, meaning that Ganondorf will be much easier to KO during his gimmick transformation. Second, the amount of knockback strongly decreases, which means that foes won't be sent nearly as far compared to normal. And third, Ganondorf's speed and jumps get decreased as well, so he'll move a lot slower and jump lower than normal. Overall, this gimmick references Ganondorf's motives for taking down anyone in his path. And now, for the final smash. Ganondorf's final smash will be... Demon Dragon. This will be a cinematic final smash where Ganondorf absorbs his power seed and causes a huge burst of magic to appear. And when hit by this burst will be sent into a cinematic. The cinematic then plays out with the opponents being launched in the sky when Ganondorf turns into a huge gloomified dragon. After this, the dragon flies through the sky and rapidly bites and breathes fire on all the opponents. But then, the light dragon comes in and destroys the dragon's source of power, which causes the dragon to explode, dealing large amounts of damage and knockback, ending the cinematic. And just to make it hilarious, if this final smash is used when Ganondorf has over 100% damage, Ganondorf will suffer a KO after the final smash ends. This references the very end of Tears of the Kingdom when Ganondorf was defeated by both the Light Dragon and Link. No matter how hard he tried, he failed to realize that good will always triumph over evil. The stage of choice is the Sky Island from The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. This stage's layout changes every time you start the match, but it always takes place in the sky. Not only that, but the gravity on the stage is super low, meaning that it's easier to recover on this stage. In the background, you can see various landmarks on the ground and occasionally some Zonai robots moving from one area to another. As you might have guessed, the music this time around is strictly from Tears of the Kingdom. In total, 16 songs will be included, 9 of which will be remixed. And that would be if Ganondorf joined Super Smash Bros. Now before I end this video, I wanted to take a moment and celebrate the 5-year anniversary of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. It's hard to believe that this game is already 5 years old. If it weren't for this game, I wouldn't be here making movesets. And I have to thank you guys for watching this series, as I wouldn't have much fun making it if it weren't for fans like you. Anyways, do you have a character you'd like to see be given a Smash moveset? If so, let me know in the comments down below. And while you're at it, why not hit subscribe? That way you can get notified when I put out any Super Smash Bros. Moveset videos. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.